Good morning, Scott here. I hope you're well. Sorry, no video today, no camera today, but there's a lot to talk about. It's Friday. Nice to get a quick trade in today before the close of business. That would be a great way to set up for the weekend. And there's so much to talk about today, so I want to get straight into it. Start off with Aussie CAD. Looking at our higher time frames, you see this level's been rejected. Nice, very cleanly. Last couple of days, and we were hoping for it to go short yesterday, and it certainly did. It exploded to the downside. Let's look at the hourly chart. And as you can see, once this trend line was broken, it came back and we tested it, and then it was off to the races. If you managed to catch that one, it wasn't really a trade on for us, maybe an ABO, but that wasn't a great one. So we're waiting for it to come back now to the 1 hour 50. This red line here, and then we can catch an IBO short. I haven't done my fibs in here, but let me just quickly show you a fib, one that hopefully lines up. Go to these highs, seems to be the best way. Fib's not bad. 1 hour 50 needs to catch up a little bit, and my estimate was pretty close, wasn't it? The trade. So that could be a nice little trade for Friday. Trading to the 4 hour 50. So much to talk about. So you need to find the best of the best setups and see which one suits your style, which one you fancy, and then hopefully it'll work out well. Let's go to Aussie yen. Aussie yen. So what do we have here? My camera appears a bit slow today. Not the best of price action, kind of going sideways, but we had a rejection of the daily 50. And Aussie's been reacting very weak the last day or so. So look at the lower time frames. Looks like we're going short from here. And we had a big breakdown yesterday. If you managed to catch that as an IBO, I think I talked about it up here. It did break away and then came back again for another entry. Just about clipped the 1 hour 50. And it's come back again for another one. That's always a bit worrying when it keeps coming back, but let's have a look at the MACD just to make sure we've still got momentum, and we do. MACD, there's a much lower low on this last leg down, so that's looking very strong still, and a big pullback means it's resetting for another leg down. So that could be good for another discretionary IBO. So the fibs don't line up perfectly, but the fibs here, you could even take it as a pivot. If you no, you can't, a pip snatcher, because this R1's too close. S1, sorry, at the bottom here. You wouldn't be able to, you'd be trading through S1, so you wouldn't have that for a pip snatcher. But you could have that as an IBO rest off of here. But you may be too late by the time you see this, but hopefully it'll wait for you. Let's go to Aussie Kiwis. As I said, there's a lot to talk about, so just pick the best of the best. Aussie Kiwi. So we've had this breakdown. It's looking very good. Very bearish day yesterday. Momentum we was looking for. Didn't really give us an entry. Maybe there's an entry back here. There was an entry back here a couple of days ago. Was that on Wednesday? Yeah. Call that one, you'd be laughing by now, but already down here getting close to this. Oh, it's just been rejected actually over in the small hours of the day on low volume. So maybe we'll come back for a pip snatcher. Trend line, we've probably got a trend line there as well, should look pretty good. About here somewhere. Where the 1 hour 50 is. MACD. Still looking really strong. Right, there's no MACD divergence there, looking really strong. So that if it does pull back, that could be a nice little pitch that's just short. Keep an eye on that one. Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, we've got a rejection off of this line here. Which does that need to be modified a little bit? Does that still work? It doesn't quite work there, doesn't quite work there. Looking back in time, probably that one there, just about perfectly lines up with it. That wick and that monthly. Have a quick look. Should we do this because there's so much to talk about today? Yeah, that wick perfectly touches it. So that's looking like it's a pretty strong level. For that reason alone, these ones here just missed it. Anyway, it rejects it yesterday. It's looking like a bearish day today, as in all the Aussie pairs seem to be. So we've had our IBO yesterday, worked out perfectly. If you got on that one, nice one. Hopefully taking profits by now. It's coming back for another attempt. Does the MACD support that? Yes, it does. We've got a very strong MACD on that last run down, pulling back, resetting into negative territory there. So it's spring loading for another leg down. That's looking like it could be pretty good. Pip snatcher, you can just squeeze one in before the 450 maybe, or you could probably set up an IBO discretionary because we've already had an IBO. Discretionary IBO short, maybe come back, just touch the 1 hour 50, spring load a bit, head down towards the daily 50. That one looks good. So I just click on the one. Yeah, no, I got the CAD Swiss. Okay. The Swiss, I'm in a hurry, but the computer's not, it seems. Are you playing the game? Okay, I'll just turn this off actually. Might slow my machine down, my browser. See if that helps. And oh, actually, I'm on VPN as well. That's not a great thing, is it? Just my VPN off. Oh. Gone right. Okay, so we've got this level here being rejected very strongly yesterday. Nice bullish candle. How does that look on a 1 hour chart? Again, we had another trend line which just got broken, retested briefly, and then it just blasted off. Hasn't given us an entry yet. I hope it's going to pull back either to the pivot for a possible pip snatcher. That could line up well. Let's keep that in mind. Being a Friday, it's always good to get these quick one-to-ones if you can. Or we might get a pullback, CAD Swiss, another 8 hours before that could set up. That might give us an ABC correction, pull back to the 1 hour 50, and you can probably find these fibs line up pretty well. Actually, perfectly with a pivot. That'll line up well, and you could then trade this up to 30-20, 2%, 30-50. Remember, it's a Friday, so if you don't want to hold over the weekend, maybe just go for the quick pip snatcher. Or a bit higher. Fed yen, see what's happening here. A few of the yen pairs are looking okay. Some are looking a little bit undecided. So we've had this level here. It's finally been rejected yesterday with a bullish candle. That's looking good for some more bullish action today, hopefully. On the 1 hour chart, we have broken this trend line cleanly above the 1 hour 50 cleanly. And if it pulls back now to the 1 hour 50 or later today, then the pivots line up well for a nice little IBO. Will it be an IBO B? I don't think we've had an obvious trend change yet because we've not had a higher low or a higher high yet. So it's an IBO B, a bit more risky, but the fibs line up well, so it could be a nice little IBO B later on today. We've got Euro Aussie. Euro Aussie's been a bit sideways, a bit yucky, but we've had a bit of direction in the last couple of days, maybe, perhaps with the daily 50. It goes with the Aussie weakness we've been seeing. So it's quite a strong trend. We've broken the 4 hour 50 cleanly now. There's a little break there, but not really significant. Hopefully it will come back and give us a nice little CBO. Break the 1 hour 50 and the 4 hour 50, a nice clean one. If it doesn't, there's always the pip snatcher. But I personally would wait for pullback to the 382, 1 hour 50 will catch up, 4 hour 50 is just behind it. You can tighten the stop just a little bit there and trade it up to maybe these highs, the obvious thing. And that's looking very nice. So keep an eye on Euro Aussie, Euro Swiss. Euro Swiss can be a funny one, but it's been trending quite nicely recently. A lot of bullish action through the daily 50, looking pretty strong. Hopefully we're going to get a nice update today. I think what got me excited was the lower time frame. So we've been, yeah, it's typical Euro Swiss. It's not the cleanest of action, but we've now broken through the 4 hour 50. And once it broke through, it shot off. We need it to pull back. Pull back, please. Fibs line up pretty well with our 1 hour 50, our 4 hour 50s here, just behind it. Euro Swiss, another 8 hours before that sets up. Gives you plenty of time for it to pull back. Even for a pip snatcher, which doesn't pull the way back, pip snatcher is always on. Otherwise, it'll be a nice CBO. So we can tighten the stop, and we can go to the highs. We've got some nice potential profit in that one. So that one looks nice if it pulls back. Euro yen. Bit of strength, not the most impressive, but still trending upwards. What does our time frames give? So we did have a minor break of the 4 hour 50 a while ago. Wasn't very clean, then broke that back down below it. Not the best of price action. There's probably better pairs out there to trade, but we've now broken the 4 hour 50 and out of the daily 20. This is red line. You can just see that one, perhaps the thin red line. This is the 1 hour 50, the big thick red line. So that maybe can go up a little bit higher, pulls back. That could be a nice little CBO long. Fibs line up well, nice tight stop, so that gives good profit potential if that one lines up. Euro dollar. This level here has been proving very significant. We identified that a couple of days ago, and it's held strong. A bit of bearish action yesterday. So we've had a trend line, 2 trend lines broken now. Broke down cleanly below the 1 hour 50, nice retrace. And that could be seen up about now for a nice little IBO. We've got lower lows, lower highs, good trend change. Probably the same on the 4 hour 50, it's probably an IBOA. Yeah, IBOA, definite trend change on the 4 hour as well. And that's looking good right now. For either, yeah, no, you couldn't get a pitch snatcher, that S1's in the way. But a nice little IBO short, IBOA short, looks good. Pound Aussie. So again with the Aussie weakness, Pound Aussie's trending up from the daily 50, trending out of the daily 20, daily 50 zone. We're going longer, actually into the weekly 50, just noticed that, which is not ideal. We also hit this level here, which is probably the weekly 50. Maybe not. There's a resistance line here, which is very strong. It goes all the way back. And although it broke it here, it came back down below it, and now it just can't get through. So that's a big red flag. I would not be trading through that or the weekly 50, which we're sitting at right now. Go to the 1 hour time frame. We can see we banged it exactly yesterday. We hit it, rejected it strongly. So I would not want to trade through that. I would dismiss it. There are much better Aussie and pound trades out there. Pound CAD. We're looking like we're going short here. Hit this line here, which is, we checked it out, identified it before. We've hit this wick here on the monthly, which was spot on, I think, and maybe back here as well. That's a very strong level. Rejected yesterday, bearish looking candle, and setting up about now actually. Lining up with pivot, pip snatcher, may just squeeze in, but probably not. Maybe you can get a little IBO short. Won't be much profit potential there. Reward risk is quite low because the 4 hour 50, even if you trade through it, you'll daily 20. If you're aggressive trading, you want to trade through those, then you could even trade out of the daily 50. That's a possibility, in which case is 3%. That is looking very nice. But conservative traders, 4 hour 50 so close, probably better ones to look at. So I'll actually go into secondary. Pound dollar. Again, rejection a strong level, looking like we're going short today. And it's pulled back right now. So the last one we looked at was pound CAD, and this one is pound dollar. Both of them probably won't give an entry for another 8 hours. So although it's setting up now, it'll probably just go sideways for another 8 hours before it does start a trend, if it's going to happen. So it's setting up too early. So it's something to consider as well. By the time you see this, something probably would have happened. Either it's gone sideways or it'll be a false breakout in another direction. Who knows? But so I'll put it on secondary, but I'll keep an eye on it. Not looking that great because the 450 is so close. Kiwi CAD. So I'm whizzing through these very quick today, but there's so much to go through. So this level here we identified as being the one we really wanted to reject, but it hasn't. It's just seems to have stalled at this level, just below it, and rejected it. So there was a chance it will come back, but oh yeah, I left this blue line on. This is what I drew in yesterday, and it's, as you can see, absolutely perfect. I drew it in when it was up here, and it played out perfectly. I just thought I'd show that because it's interesting how it can sometimes do exactly what you expect. Right, so we've had pullback, Kiwi CAD any time of day, so that's looking like it could be an IBOB short, very strong breakout through this trend line, pullback, ready to go short right now. That was looking good. Kiwi dollar, another strong level, nice clean rejection, bit wicky, bit of a wick yesterday, but I expect we'll see in the lower time frames that's why we've got a wick, pulling down and back to the 1 hour 50. But we'll look at the MACD. MACD is still really strong. Going back and recharging, so looking like it's going to go short again. That one looks good for a bit later on. Oh, sorry, right now. Right now indeed. Dollar Swiss. Okay, very bearish day. We've bearish action down here. We've hit this level. Been staying here for a few days. Not sure what to do. Then yesterday was a nice bullish day. So that's looking really good for a bullish momentum to continue. Nice break of the 1 hour 50. Hasn't really pulled back yet. So we've got dollar Swiss at 8 hours for it to pull back to the 1 hour 50. And that could be a pip snatcher at least, or just squeeze a pip snatcher in there, or you could even take it a lot higher if you wanted to. And dollar yen. Dollar yen, we've got another strong level, bit of bullish action yesterday. And here we're looking at similar to the dollar Swiss. So we're waiting for it to pull back to the 382, feared the 1 hour 50. That could happen at any time of day, but we'll probably wait for the big volume to come in a few hours. And then trade that up to the 4 hour 50, and that's got possible two. See, it's not quite right, is it? It's adjustment fib. There's a pip snatcher there, and or an IBO, IRB, probably a B, maybe it's an A. And that's, yeah, good potential there, 1.8%. Could be a nice way to close the week out. So there we go. That's what I have for you. There's a lot on offer. Only pick the best ones. Try and be, if you don't want to hold over the weekend, then try and be in and out of the trade before close of business today. I wish you all the best in the markets and have a great weekend. I'll speak to you next week. Okay, all the best.